Hello everyone, my name is Havian and today I'll be showing you how multiplayer works in Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris. I can start off by saying that this game has the best implementation of multiplayer out of all of the mainline Sword Art Online games. And it's what a lot of people have been asking for a long time. It's just a shame that the stability and optimization on all platforms is making it hard for people to actually play the game. The developers have said that they're working on fixes, but in the meantime I can show you what the multiplayer is like. This time around it seems like the multiplayer gives you a lot of freedom to do what you want, and surprisingly it seems like they've listened to the feedback that they got about the multiplayer in previous games. Multiplayer won't be available right from the start of the game. It unlocks slightly after the beginning of Chapter 2, which is roughly around 20 minutes after you unlock character creation. In multiplayer, you host your world for people to join, or you can join other people's world and continue to progress in the same way that you would if you were offline. I know a lot of people are wondering if you create a new character for multiplayer, but the character you use offline and online is the same, and starting multiplayer is easily done from the character menu. Once multiplayer is unlocked, you can open your game up for anyone to join, or you can set a password so that only people you want to join can enter. You can also specify what quests you want to do while online and write a description for people so that they know what your goals are for that multiplayer session. There are a few restrictions and things you should be aware of though when playing online. When joining another person's multiplayer session, you can't search for rooms that exceed your own story progression, and you can't match with players that are using a different game version. So if you're playing with friends, make sure you join the person that's made the least amount of progress in the main story, and you should be able to play together. All players will also need to assemble together to progress in certain situations, like specific quests or boss battles, and players can only bring their main partner with them online, but this partner can be switched out from the friends list in the character menu. Wayfarer partners can't accompany you online, and resting at Kirito's tent or other resting locations won't cause time to pass like it does in the offline mode. You can't enter character creation while in multiplayer, so make sure you do that while you're offline. And while online, the host can choose a new difficulty once all players are assembled in Centauria. And from what I've seen so far, increasing the world's difficulty will make enemies harder, but will increase their item drop rate. You can't select save and return to the title menus at save points while online, and you can't engage in heart-to-hearts with the AI characters too. From what I've seen so far, you can do your main story quests with people online, but so far it doesn't seem like progress is shared between everyone. So if you're playing with people that are at the same point in the game, you'll all need to finish your own objectives, but at least you can help each other out and do things as a group. When I did a story quest online, the cutscenes worked as they normally would, and other players could still play on their own without me being nearby. So I guess story quests are done in this way so that people can watch cutscenes and progress at their own pace while playing on multiplayer. Like I mentioned earlier, there are some quests that can only be started when all party members are gathered. So far it seems like these are boss quests that require all people to be within the same battle area before it starts. Once it begins, a barrier appears around the boss and you'll need to stay within the barrier and defeat it before the time runs out. Someone that joined me online gave one of these bosses a try, but it was way too high level for us to take down in our current gear. But at least we got to see what happens when you start one of these quests. One thing that I hope they improve with quests that require everyone to gather is information that lets you know how many people are waiting to begin the quest. On the map you can see that there are people waiting nearby because of their icon, but you can't really see how many people are actually waiting to sync and begin the quest. This isn't really a problem for groups that know what their aim is beforehand, but this can be an issue for people that are just roaming the world and want to try something in the moment. There is a basic chat system that can be used to communicate, but it definitely needs some work, especially on PC. I think an external service like Discord to communicate will be essential, since you can only type 30 characters per line each time you want to say something in game. I haven't noticed in-game voice chats, and the menu to access chat is pretty clunky to use in the middle of gameplay. On console I assume voice chat will be there, and if it isn't then at least party chat's a thing. But with raids and dungeons coming to multiplayer very soon, better ways to communicate in game would be nice. And yes, I did say dungeons and raids were coming. In a recent livestream the developers showed a bit of gameplay for the 16 character dungeons and raid bosses that are coming to the game. The 16 characters are made up of 4 groups of 4, and I assume these will be available to do online with 1 player and 3 AI characters in each group. But if you decide to play offline, then they've shown that you can replace the other players with AI characters. So far, the multiplayer future of this game seems promising, but unfortunately, the stability and optimization of the game is currently limiting its potential. Hopefully the developers can work things out and get the game running better for more people before the content updates start. I post smaller gameplay clips and news updates over on Twitter between the videos that I make, so if you want to see some of those, I'll put the link to it in the description, so you can head over there and follow if you want to stay up to date with everything I'm doing. If you want to see any of the other gameplay videos that I make for Sword Art Online or action RPGs, then don't forget to subscribe and remember to click the bell, so you'll be the first to know when a new video is available. I'll be making some new videos very soon, but for now, I'll leave you with some gameplay of my time in multiplayer.